It is that time of the year again, time for school bells to ring, time for students to return to classes. Here at IPFW, it also means another year of Mastodon Spotlight. Season number 8 will get underway this week. Our special guest, one of the newest members of the IPFW athletic family, soccer coach Jenny Moppert, will take a look at the just completed soccer showcase and more. It's Mastodon Spotlight, year number 8. Stay tuned. It's coming up next, right here on College 56 Sports.
Let's Scotland get another three. Lundin setting up Mastodon.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Moss. Welcome to year number 8 of Mastodon Spotlight, a show in which we try to highlight athletic events here at IPFW. We start, as we have for the past several years, by looking at soccer, both men's and women's. The 7th annual soccer showcase took place over this past weekend, 7th for the men, 6th for the women. And our special guest, one of the newest members of the IPFW athletic family, we're happy to welcome to both IPFW and to Mastodon Spotlight, Jenny Moppert. Jenny is no stranger to the community. She is from Fort Wayne. She played at Bishop Luers High School. Not only played soccer, but played a mean game of basketball as well. And she went on to Purdue University. But Jenny, welcome back to the community and welcome to IPFW.
Well, thank you for having me. It's great to be back in Fort Wayne.
For some of our viewers that may not know that much about you, I mentioned that you did go to high school at Bishop Luers. Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, once I graduated from Luers, I went to Purdue to become a Boilermaker for their soccer team. I played there at 2000 to 2003, and we had a great career there. So I was really excited to be a Boilermaker.
Looking at some of the numbers, the number 4 sticks out at Purdue for you. 4th in points with 47, 4th in goals with 17, 4th in assists with 13. What is it about the number 4? Did you wear number 4 when you played?
No, I was number 2.
I remember, and we talked about this before we started airing the show or filming the show, you have participated in a previous IPFW soccer showcase when you and your Purdue team came here to Fort Wayne, I want to say 3 years ago. I'm not sure if it was 3 or 4, but you and I did an interview at the Hefner Field Complex, and we talked about the Purdue program. Purdue is again, it's one of the schools that is growing in terms of women's soccer. And what was that 4 years like for you at Purdue?
Well, when I came in, it was only a third-year program, so it was very, very new. And my incoming freshman class, I think we had 16 players. And we were supposed to be the class that, helped move the program into being maybe one of the top 25 programs. And we were lucky that we did. My senior year, I ended with playing in the Sweet 16 against North Carolina. So unfortunately, we ended my career playing against North Carolina, but they went on to win the national championship, so that's not too shabby.
A lot of schools can say that same thing, that they played against the perennial national powerhouse Tar Heels. You wanted to stay in the sport, and so when you graduated, you got into coaching. What was the thought process behind that?
Yes. Well, I knew that coaching was what I wanted to do, and I had come home that summer after I had graduated, and the head coach at Purdue had said, hey, there's a head coaching job open over at West Lafayette High School. You should apply for it. So I applied, and I got the job and as the head coach there. And we had a great season. We were 11-3-1, so that was my first stint as a coach. We had a winning program, so that was great, but the girls were the reason why we won. They were very good.
I have to ask you, day one, head coach at West Lafayette, remember what you said to the team? In a nutshell, maybe?
That I just, this was new to me, being a coach, and I'm going to bring a lot of enthusiasm, and I expect a lot of hard work out of the kids, and just have a lot of fun, because that's what the sport's about. If you're not having fun, and I think it goes along with any sport, if you're not having fun, then, why are you playing it? So
You coached at West Lafayette, and then you went back, and if my memory is correct, you were a volunteer assistant at Purdue?
Yes. After my fall season at West Lafayette High School, I then became the assistant basketball coach at West Lafayette High School for the varsity team there. And then the head coach, Robert Clotty, called and asked if I would be the volunteer assistant, and I started with him then in June.
Must be interesting because now you're working with some former teammates, but you're in a position of authority, so to speak.
Yes. Well, it was really fun because my sister Addie, she played here at Canterbury, and she now is going to her junior year as a Boilermaker playing soccer. And so it was kind of a difficult decision for me to make because I was scared that maybe she wouldn't want me to be a coach for the Boilermakers. But, her and I, we have a really close friendship, and we talked about it, and she said, what are you doing? Yeah, come be a coach. And so then we came for the showcase in '04, and so they think they did an article on Addie and I being the sisters now, a coach and a player. So, yeah, we had a great fall season.
You coached 1 year in high school. You're a volunteer coach at a Big Ten university, the one that you attended as a student. What's the biggest difference you saw between coaching high school girls and coaching collegiate girls?
I'd have to say dedication. A lot of kids in high school, they don't necessarily want to go play at the collegiate level once they're done. And so I found it very difficult coming from playing college soccer, and this is my passion and what I love to do. It was hard for me to deal with kids who weren't as passionate. But, it really made me become more patient dealing with the kids. And I think in the end, I respected them and they respected me. And I respected the paths that they wanted to go in. And even though soccer maybe wasn't their path, I still respected them for the choices they made. And they respected me, a coach, as well. I made my kids still battle really hard in their games. So I would say, maybe the level of play, obviously was a little less, but I still made them compete in practice and on the field. So.
Then you made the move back from West Lafayette over to back here to Fort Wayne.
Yes.
How did things work out where you ended up becoming part of the staff here at IPFW?
Terry actually called me. And I had kind of heard about the job, and then he and I had spoke on the phone, and so I just sent my resume in, and I got hired for the position. So, and it's great to be back.
Well, welcome to the family.
Thank you.
And of course, Terry's a unique individual too.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's a great guy.
He has been on this show many times, and we miss him today, but we're happy to have you on board. That's for sure.
Thank you.
We mentioned the fact that we always start our season talking about the soccer showcase. It's, as Terry Stefankowitz, the head coach, has mentioned, it is the NIT of soccer, both men's and women's, throughout the United States. 7th year for the men, 6th year for the women, and it took place this past weekend. We'll briefly talk about some of the matches, and then we're going to talk more specifically about the IPFW matches that were involved as each of the teams played a match. It started last Thursday night when IPFW's men took on Marquette, and Cincinnati took on Michigan State. Michigan State has been here, I believe, just about every year, the men's program. And in the Cincinnati-Michigan State game, a goal was scored in the 85th minute by the Bearcats, and they beat the Spartans 1-0. And the men's team got underway taking on, I always want to say the Warriors. I grew up calling Marquette the Warriors, but they're the Golden Eagles. I know there's a lot of controversy up in Milwaukee about that. But IPFW and Marquette's men played to a scoreless draw, and
Yes.
you were there, and what can you tell us about that match?
Well, I think our men we're fairly young this year. We have a lot of freshmen this year, and I think the chemistry of the team has developed into a really close-knit group, which is great for the men's program. They came out and battled and fought and had opportunities to score, and they moved the ball around extremely well during that game, and I think that just shows what kind of a season that they're going to have this year.
Oh, it ended up a scoreless draw. That was night one on Thursday night. Friday, There were some matches, a women's match between Central Michigan and DePaul, which ended up in a 1-1 draw. Illinois Chicago took on IUPUI, and UIC scored a couple of quick goals and won that contest 2-0. And then the big match of the night, Friday night, was defending men's national champion Maryland, top ranked, taking on former national champion IU. And I'm told the pace was filled to the gills.
Yes.
And the IU got a goal and won 1-0. Talk about that match, if you remember seeing it.
Yes, I was there. I was there. I think, the pace of play is just so much quicker than the women's game. And, just watching them play is just, it's really interesting just to see how they move the ball around. And I think it's kind of nice for IU to have put a goal in the back of the net to beat Maryland. But, I mean, it was physical. And, like I said, the speed of play was very quick.
The collegiate side of the tournament finished up on Saturday, 2 other matches. In one of the matches, an intra-state battle, IU's women took on Indiana State, and basically was no contest, a 4-0 win for the Hoosiers.
Right.
But then your team, your and Terry's team, took on the Toledo Rockets in the Mid-American Conference. And the last time those two teams played here in Fort Wayne was ending the season a couple of seasons ago, and IU got a goal in double overtime to win, and the significance of that gave IPFW a winning season, their first in the women's history.
Yes.
We're going to show some highlights from this match between IPFW and Toledo, and we got to go early. I'll let you take it from here.
Yes, that's Annika Apar with the ball, number 9, and she's getting ready to serve the ball in. And there's Kendra Shank, who transferred from St. Francis to put the ball in the back of the net.
Again, that's a little give and go. Talk, if you can, briefly, Jenny, about the style of attack that you and Terry are hoping to have this year.
We are playing in a 4-5-1, and for the people who don't really know what that is, it's 4 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 1 attacking forward. And what we would like to see is, we're really clogging up the middle, but also we're going to be able to attack with essentially 6 people. So, it really benefits us with making sure we have enough numbers back, but also our girls are very fit, and especially our outside mids are able to, and our center mids are able to move up and down the field, the whole entire game, and give us a good defense, but also a wonderful attack. So
I'm going to ask you to put your teacher's cap on, so to speak. Terry has mentioned, you mentioned a 4-5-1.
Yes.
Terry has also talked about a 4-4-2.
Yes.
Can you explain to our viewers what the difference is between a 4-4-2 and a 4-5-1?
Well, in a 4-4-2 formation, you are going to have the added person up top, and then you also have your outside mids to get forward. But then in a 4-5-1, your center of the park is what the center midfielders. We have 3 center midfielders, and we wanted to have more numbers in the center of the field. And so by playing with 5 in the midfield, that gives you a lot of numbers in the midfield to try and win aerial balls and first and second balls and things like that. So it compacts the midfield more than just having 4 flat, 4 in the midfield, and 2 up top.
What's the key to success in a soccer match? Controlling the ball?
Yes, and that's one thing that our team does very well. They're very good at finding people's feet, finding the passing lanes. We don't just kick it and run. We actually just move the ball around very, very well. And if you come out to watch our games, you'll see that they try to spread the field out. We try to open up the team on defense by pinging a ball across the field and looking for an outside midfielder running on. And that's, I think, one of the biggest keys is wearing the other team out. And we do that by spreading the field out.
And by doing that, that's what enabled that goal to be scored.
Yes.
In the match.
Yep.
And we hope to have some more footage here momentarily. And we do, and we'll just talk about that. IPFW was in the blue, by the way.
This is Corinne, number 5. She's getting a cross off. And that's Kendra Shank, again passing it to Annika Apar. Just shot wide, but that was a great attack. And this is Annika Apar again, getting a cross off. Annika Apar fighting to try to get in there to get a goal. And it's Annika Apar again, number 9. That's Tamika Bailey.
It's interesting because Tamika has played just about every position on the field. She
Yes,
was
she
a
has.
goalkeeper for a couple of years.
Annika Apar with a corner. Trying to get it in there.
Well, soccer can be a physical game too, and we're going to see a little bit of that
Yes.
coming up shortly. And doesn't matter if it's men's or women's, the game can get a little rough. Oh,
There's
your
the head
boss.
coach, Terry.
And I believe it's the second half action now that we're seeing.
Yes.
Yeah, getting down and dirty, so to speak.
Got a nice little header from Jenna. Here's.
Interesting throw in there.
That's a
Like
great
Christy
tool.
Arnett.
Yes, but that's a great tool for us because anytime the ball is down and they're attacking third, I mean, she's essentially giving us a corner kick. I mean, because she can launch it into the close to the 6-yard box.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
there she goes again, and it's into the box.
that takes a lot of work to master that, I would think.
Yeah, well, I can't do it.
You need to be
I
athletic
can't
and
do it.
flexible, that's for sure. And again, more action. How many scars do you have from your 4 years of battle with Purdue?
Yeah, I've got a couple. It really is I mean, it can be a very physical game. But that's what I liked about it. That was Ashley Hainsbury's breakaway, and this is Annika Apar.
A little rumble in the jungle, so to speak, with Annika Apar. Saying, what do you mean? Why are you carding me?
Yep.
You know, that's,
There's
again, there's that pass again.
There's Christy.
Now, this match ended up in a 1-1 draw. Toledo got a tying goal. And again, I think a good start for a team that went 6-11-3 last year, even though it doesn't count in the standings. It's still a good effort by the team against Toledo.
Yes, I mean, we open up the season with Ball State on Friday at 7 o'clock here at Hefner. And I think that was a great game for us to, a great preseason game for the girls to go through. It was very, very physical. And those girls were very big. I think the average height was about 5'10", 5'9". So I think it was really good for our girls to kind of get in there and fight, and because when we go play Ball State, it's not going to be a cakewalk by any means. So
we are chatting with Jenny Moppert, the newest member of the IPFW soccer family. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a little more of an up-close and personal look at this 2006 edition of IPFW women's soccer. Also try to take a glance at the men's team as well. But we'll talk about the teams when Mastodon Spotlight returns in a moment, right here on College 56 Sports.
Life is good, but with a master's degree from IPFW, it could be even better. You could land a promotion, earn more money, become a leader in your field. And IPFW makes it easy. With affordable tuition, night and weekend classes, and more than 20 graduate programs from business to education to public affairs and more. Become the master of your future. Indiana University, Purdue University, Fort Wayne. Your graduate university.
Welcome back to Mastodon Spotlight. It's our inaugural show for year number 8. I can't say that very well, but what else is new? The emphasis this week is on soccer. We're chatting with Jenny Moppert, who is the new women's assistant soccer coach here at IPFW. We've been talking about the soccer showcase that was completed this past weekend. Were you impressed by the crowds that were here at the Hefner Fields complex?
I was, especially for our men's game. We had a lot of fans come out on Thursday night. It was a late game, so I was really impressed with the great fan support that our men's program got. And then, of course, the IU Maryland game, I think, drew the whole city of Fort Wayne in. So, but that's great for our community, and we love the support that the community is showing to IPFW, and then also for our women's game. Then we really did have a great crowd for our women's game, and I think our women put on a great show for that game. So.
Well, evidenced by the little scuffle with Annika Apar
Yes.
and Christy Arnett's windmill throw-ins and
Yes.
the good goal. Let's talk further about the team that you're most familiar with, and that is the women's team here at IPFW. I mentioned prior to the break, they're coming off a season where they were 6-11-3. And if you look at numbers, 6-11-3 doesn't sound very good, but it was a team that was beset by injuries, which seems to have been a problem the last 2 or 3 seasons for whatever reasons. But it is also a team that lays claim to being a champion of the United Soccer Conference. They won the postseason tournament, which ironically was here at IPFW. So that confidence, I think, had a little bit to say in how they played against Toledo. And I know you're new to the school, new to the team, but what can you tell our viewers about some of the members of this 2006 edition of IPFW Women's Soccer?
Well, we have a great incoming freshman class. We have number 10, Ashley Hainsbury. Everyone will be able to recognize her. She's the one in the back who is extremely fast. And if anyone was out for the game last Saturday, she was the one that we put up in the last couple minutes of the game to try and put another goal in the back of the net for us. But she's just so fast, and that speed is what we needed, just to kind of add on to the speed that we already have on the team. And then we have transfer student Kendra Shank from St. Francis, who actually scored the goal against Toledo. She's been a great addition and a great kid to our program. And then we have Danielle Luther. She's a really, really tough kid. And we're trying to get her to kind of break out of her shell a little bit more. I think she may be still a little nervous about coming in as a freshman. But, and then...
You can take a look at the roster if you'd like. That'll help you out. Get you some names and
bad.
numbers.
Oh, then we have Tina Auden. I'm so sorry. Then we have Tina Auden. Tina Auden was in the, she started as a center back for us, and she did a great job against Toledo. With freshmen, you're always a little worried about them being nervous about coming into their first collegiate game, and she did a great job as far as stepping up, and I mean, she definitely let some of their forwards know that she was there, and we're lucky to have her, and we'll hopefully have great things from her this season. So
It has been said on occasions that a team is only as good as its strongest defender. And in this case, we're talking about a goalkeeper.
Yes.
IPFW has experience between the pipes. Shannon Lynn primarily.
Yes.
Tamika Bailey has played in the nets as well throughout her career at IPFW. That's a strength.
Right. Shannon Lynn, I came in January, and I've been used to, watching these Big Ten goalkeepers, and she's just phenomenal. She just day after day comes up with unbelievable saves, and she's very smart, very good with her feet, and she's kind of an added sweeper. We call her a sweeper keeper because you can always just lay the ball off to her. For our backs know that she's always there, so they can lay the ball off and know that they have her as an outlet if they're under pressure. And they really, really rely on Shannon to then be able to clear the ball out as well. So not only is she a good shot stopper, but she's also a good with her feet.
And I think probably the offensive leader is Annika Apar. She was the leading scorer last year.
Yes.
And she is back again. We've got about 3 minutes left in the show.
All right.
I would like to take a look, and you have the schedule in front of you. You mentioned that the season begins for real this weekend, games that count in the standings. And first up is a match at the Hefner Field Soccer Complex Friday night against Ball State from the Mid-American Conference. It's I can't say they're cousins of any type, but they're an intrastate rival, and it'll be a big match.
Correct.
Talk about that match if you can.
Well, I think our girls are very excited to open up with Ball State. I know as a coaching staff, we're very excited to open up with Ball State, and it being at Hefner, which I think kind of gives us a little added bonus. But, you know, Ball State's going to be tough. They played IUPUI, I'm pretty sure, for their, or it was either IUPUI or Indianapolis for a preseason game. And we got a little word about how that game went, and so I think Ball State's they're going to be very good this year, but I think our team's going to be very good this year. Our girls know how to fight and battle, and I think that when that game comes, they're going to be ready to play.
You play that match on Friday night, and then I believe it's Sunday. You go to Mount Pleasant, Michigan to take on the Chippewas of Central
Yes.
Michigan, a team that was also here at the Soccer Showcase, and they played DePaul to a 1-1 draw. How much of an advantage was it for you to see them and for them to see you?
Well, I actually think that they might have just kind of taken off after their game, so I don't know if I really got to watch much of our game, which is kind of good for us. But I'm sure a coach stuck around. But it was good to watch Central Michigan play, and it's always nice to be able to have the ability to bring these teams in and maybe kind of see what their incoming freshman class is like and how many incoming freshmen they play and see kind of if they have any injuries.
Well, it's going to be an interesting season, and we're looking forward to watching you and Terry lead the team. Jenny Moppert, again, thank you for coming on board and helping to get season number 8 of Mastodon Spotlight off to a great start. Again, welcome to the university and much success with the women's soccer program.
Well, thank you much for having me, and once again, it's great to be back in Fort Wayne and be on IPFW's campus.
That's Jenny Moppert, women's assistant soccer coach here at IPFW. We thank Jenny. We thank you for tuning in to season number 8 of Mastodon Spotlight. We'll be back next week with another edition of the program, but until then, this is Mike Moss. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great week, and please continue to go Dons.